Ever wonder why some cities, despite their size, feel like a ghost town? It's like the entire population decided to take an extended vacation, permanently. Well, today we're counting down the top 10 empty big cities that once flourished, but now echo with the sounds of, well, nothing. Get ready for a mix of abandoned streets, questionable urban planning, and cities where tumbleweeds probably have a better time than humans. Starting off with number 10, New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans, home to jazz, Mardi Gras, and an empty downtown. With a population of about 384,000, it sounds like there should be people everywhere, right? But the reality is, the city's spread out, giving you a super low population density of just 2,057 people per square mile. For a city that was established way back in 1718, New Orleans hasn't exactly packed on the people. After Hurricane Katrina, the place took a hit that it's still struggling to bounce back from. And let's be honest, living in a city that's basically a bowl below sea level, surrounded by water, doesn't scream safe haven. Who wants to live somewhere where you might need a snorkel just to go grocery shopping? Not many, apparently. Number 9, Tucson, Arizona. Tucson. The city's got 542,000 residents, but you wouldn't know it by walking around. With only 2,397 people per square mile, it feels more like a deserted town. Established in 1775, and since then it's been, well, hanging in there. But let's face it, Tucson's population is melting away faster than an ice cream cone left out in that 105-degree desert heat. If you love scorching sunburns, zero greenery, and rattlesnakes as your neighborhood pals, Tucson might just be your dream city. But for everyone else, it's like living in an oven that never turns off. Why live in Tucson when your thermostat could be set at a constant surface of the sun? Spoiler, most people choose not to. And speaking of amenities, this place has all the excitement of watching sand settle in an hourglass. People pack up and leave. And you know what? I can't blame them. If the desert doesn't dry you out, the lack of excitement will. Number 8, Memphis, Tennessee. Next, we have Memphis, Tennessee, a city with about 628,000 people. Yet somehow it feels like the blues aren't the only thing disappearing. With a population density of just 1,972 people per square mile, you could throw a rock and not hit anyone. Though please don't try that. Established in 1819, it was once a hub of music, food, and culture. But now, well, let's just say the vibe's a little too quiet for comfort. There's a reason Memphis is on this list. Crime. Yeah, sure, the music's still good, but who's sticking around to hear it? It's like folks here hit a sour note and decided to pack up their guitars and move out. Honestly, you'd have to really love barbecue to stick around this long. But hey, if you ever wanted to wander down empty streets while humming Heartbreak Hotel, Memphis has you covered. Just watch your back. Number 7, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa, where the oil boom once drew people in droves. But with 413,000 residents and a population density of 2,011 people per square mile, it feels more like a ghost town than a boom town. Established in 1898, back when oil made this place the boomtown of boomtowns. Today, let's just say there's not much booming going on. Now, I don't want to rag on Tulsa too hard. It's got a little something for everyone, as long as your something includes endless flatlands and a nearly extinct nightlife. It's not that people hate Tulsa, it's just they don't really care for it either. Maybe it's the tornadoes that swing by for an annual visit, or maybe it's the overall May factor. Either way, if you want to experience a major city where you can hear yourself think and possibly hear tumbleweeds rolling, Tulsa is your spot. It's like living in a city-sized ghost story. Number 6, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Our next stop is Virginia Beach. Ah yes, the place where you'd expect sun, sand, and crowds of people, right? Think again. Even though Virginia Beach boasts a population of 457,000, the city's spread out enough that you only get about 1,817 people per square mile. It's like everyone came for the beach and forgot to stick around. Established in 1906, you'd think the place would be packed with beachgoers, surfers, and families enjoying the sand, right? Well, wrong. Turns out Virginia Beach isn't exactly the paradise people dreamt it would be. Sure, it's got the beach, if you're okay with freezing water for most of the year. And yeah, it's a military town. But once people clock out, the city feels emptier than a beach chair in December. The cost of living here is surprisingly high, considering there's not much to do once you've surfed through the beachy Instagram posts. So if you're looking for a place where you can claim all the beach space you want, Virginia Beach is waiting. Just you and the seagulls. Number 5, Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City. With a population of 508,000 and a density of 1,449 people per square mile, it's almost as if the barbecue has more pull than the people. Established in 1838, is all about two things: barbecue and wide, empty streets. You can smell the brisket for miles, but guess what? You won't see many people standing in line to get it. Once upon a time, Kansas City was bustling with jazz clubs, baseball fans, and stockyards full of life. But now, the city is like a concert where the band never showed up. And no offense, but unless you're a die-hard BBQ fan, there's just not much keeping you here. Why live in Kansas City when you can visit for a weekend, enjoy the ribs, and leave before you get bored? Number 4, Nashville, Tennessee. Music City, USA, also known as Nashville, Tennessee. With 715,000 people crammed into 1,630 people per square mile, you'd think this place would be buzzing with life, right? Established in 1779, Nashville's fame grew, but its population didn't. Turns out living in the same place where every corner is trying to be the next honky-tonk hit gets old real fast. People come for the music and leave when they realize that singing about small-town living is a lot more fun than actually living it. Plus, traffic in Nashville? It's like playing a game of Frogger in real life, except less fun and with more honking. If you love gridlock and an endless loop of country music, Nashville might just be your paradise. But for everyone else, there's an exit on the highway. Number 3, Jacksonville, Florida. Now, let's head down to Florida, Jacksonville to be exact. With 954,000 residents and a population density of just 1,200 people per square mile, Jacksonville is one of the largest cities by land area in the US, but good luck finding anyone in all that space. Established in 1822, this city is basically a living meme. Once you mention Florida man, you know you're in for a wild ride. The city is huge, geographically speaking, but you wouldn't know it by the population density. Why? Because no one's sticking around to see what strange headline hits next. Between hurricanes and the wildlife, and I'm not talking about the kind with fur, living in Jacksonville is like playing survival mode on hard difficulty. And don't even get me started on the humidity, like walking into a wet blanket every day. Let's face it, the city's more for gators and weird news stories than it is for human habitation. Number 2, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, land of the tornadoes, home to, well, not as many people as you'd expect. With 687,000 people and only 1,058 people per square mile, it's got all the makings of a big city except for the crowd. Established in 1889, the place where you can get hit by a tornado and a tumbleweed in the same day. It's as flat as a pancake and about as exciting as one, too. Look, I'm not saying people are leaving in droves, but people are leaving in droves. Between Tornado Alley and an economy that hasn't exactly been booming, OKC just doesn't have the pull it once had. It's a quiet, windy city where you can hear yourself think. A little too much, probably. So if you're a fan of wind and dust, Oklahoma City might be your kind of place. Otherwise, most folks are opting for somewhere less prone to Mother Nature's mood swings. Number 1, Anchorage, Alaska. And finally, we land in Anchorage, Alaska, the city where polar bears probably have more neighbors than humans. With 288,000 people and a staggering low population density of just 171 people per square mile, Anchorage is as empty as they come. Established in 1914, Anchorage is what happens when you put a city in the middle of a frozen tundra and expect people to stay. Sure, the views are breathtaking, but so is the cold. Ever tried defrosting your car for 20 minutes just to get to the grocery store? Exactly. No one wants to deal with that. Throw in isolation, long, dark winters, and bears that are just as likely to walk down Main Street as you are, and you've got a recipe for why most people don't stick around. Honestly, you'd have to really love the cold, or just not mind being alone, for Anchorage to be your forever home. And judging by the population, most people just aren't that into it. Alrighty, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, you'll probably enjoy one of the 2 videos being suggested right now. What city would you never want to live in? Drop a comment below and let us know. If you enjoyed this list, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on more strange, fascinating, and sometimes downright bizarre content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.